I'd like to go over the Pilates key elements with you. These key elements really are what make movement Pilates, and this is where you can get the benefits of Pilates. And so it's always worth going back to these key elements from time to time to make sure that you're doing the exercises correctly. Key element number one is breathing. Of course, breathing is so important. We need it just to be alive, but breathing can impact on our nervous system. So if you think about it, if something frightens you, you're going to take a quick breath in, and then you're going to hold. And that puts your body into this state of fight or flight. You're going to be ready for anything. But if you take a nice deep inhale, breathing deep into the lungs, really filling the lungs up with a good amount of air, and then exhale, releasing all that air, maybe even more slowly than you inhaled, all the way out, you'll notice that even with just one breath, you're feeling a little bit more relaxed, and that's going to tap into your rest and digest nervous system. So with Pilates, we may be using that slower breath, but throughout the class, we're actually just working with normal breath.
Element number 2 is centering, or activating our deep core. Make sure that you start in neutral position. Place 2 fingertips on the pelvic bones, bring them in 1 inch or 2, and then down 1/2 inch and let them sink. Make sure that you do not move your back. Go ahead and inhale. As you exhale, draw your belly gently in towards your spine until you feel a firmness under your fingertips. That's activating your center. You should be able to hold that and breathe. If you feel anything pushing your fingertips away, you're activating other muscles, so just ease up a little bit. I use the cue 20%. Okay, go ahead and roll up. We can activate our center through the pelvic floor as well. So for this, our fingers are in the same place, and again, no movement through the back. Inhale, and then as you exhale, think of lifting up through the pelvic floor. That's stopping the flow of urine, or sometimes the cue wink through the back passage and zip up through the front. You should feel that same firmness under your fingertips, and you should be able to breathe as you hold this. Whichever one works for you, that's fine. The key is to make sure that you are breathing and that you're working, I always say 20%, you're not working too hard, you're working hard enough, but you should be able to hold this through your exercises, through class, or through the day. Key element number 3 is ribcage placement. Go ahead and place your hands over your ribs, and think about breathing in to your hands. As you do that, you should feel that your fingertips separate ever so slightly, and then as you exhale, just relax. You should feel that your fingertips come together. Deep inhale, feel the ribs expand out. And then as you exhale, fingertips come together. You should also notice as you're breathing in that the back of your rib cage is pressing into the mat. We want the ribs to be relaxed against the mat. We don't want our rib cage pointing up towards the ceiling. We almost want this sense of the ribs drawing down towards the pelvis, and that's setting your ribs in neutral. Key element number 4 is shoulder blades. So to set this, I always like to start by thinking of the collarbones opening up first. So feel the collarbones open nice and wide. Then draw the shoulders down away from the ears. On the floor, you're not going to be doing this so much, but you're thinking of drawing slightly in as well. And just play with the shoulder blades a little bit here. But reach your arms up, keeping those collarbones wide, keeping the shoulders down away from the ears. Okay, we're going to reach the fingertips up a little closer towards the ceiling without shrugging your shoulders. You'll feel your shoulder blades coming around the ribs and slightly off the ground. And then go ahead and draw the shoulder blades back into the mat slightly together. And then again, shoulder blades separate as you reach your fingertips up towards the ceiling, and then they come into the mat. And then we can continue to move between those positions. Make sure your elbows are fairly straight, so not bending and straightening the elbows. This is just the shoulder blades gliding on the rib cage. And double check that you haven't moved your spine, so our spine is still in neutral with that blueberry safe underneath the small of our back. Okay, when we're lying on the floor, we want our shoulder blades to be into the mat. You can go ahead and lower your key element number 5 is the head and neck placement. And to do this, I like to start by thinking of drawing your chin back and maybe even the head into the floor a little bit more. And then feeling that length through the top of the neck and then relaxing. If you notice that when you relax, your chin pops up towards the ceiling, that would mean that you need to put a towel or a pillow underneath your head. If you find that when you do your chin tuck and then you relax, actually your chin just falls down towards your chest, maybe you have too many pillows and you need to just relax onto the ground. So we should have a nice 90-degree angle chin if you want to be precise. The cue that helps a lot of people is thinking of a juicy peach or a plum underneath your chin, and you're just holding on to it without squashing any juice out. But when we're lying on the ground, we should actually just feel fairly comfortable as we relax into this neutral position for the head and neck.